Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So today we'll be discussing about endangered species. So what are endangered species? Animals whose numbers are diminishing. Diminishing means reducing to a next level that they may face extinction are known as endangered species or animals. So there are extinct species and endangered species. Extinct species are already extinct. They're not present on Earth. Endangered species may get extinct if we don't conserve or preserve them. Survival of some extinct species, for example dinosaurs. Survival of some animals have become difficult because of disturbances in their natural habitat. National parks, human activities such as grazing, poaching, hunting, capturing their habitat have caused them on the verge of extinction. Human activities such as grazing, poaching also contribute to making them endangered. Are only big animals facing extinction? No. Small animals are much more in danger of becoming extinct than big animals. At times, we kill snakes, frogs, bats, owls ruthlessly without realizing their importance in the system. They all are connected. They are our primary producers, consumers, and they all are dependent on each other. In an ecosystem, we are dependent on each other for our survivals. We are dependent on plants, animals. Plants are interdependent or correlated. By killing them, we are harming ourselves only. They might be small in size, but their role are very big and cannot be ignored. We'll be learning about their part of food chains and food webs. We'll be learning about food webs and food chains in coming slides. What is Red Data Book? A Red Data Book is the source book which keeps a record of all the endangered animals and plants. Red Data Book is maintained internationally by an organization. India also maintains Red Data Book for plants and animals found in India. So Red Data Book contains the list of endangered animals which are on the verge of extinction, and even India makes their own data list. What is food chain? A food chain is a linear network of links in a food web starting from primary producer such as grass and trees and ending to an apex predator like greasy bears or whales, detrivores or decomposers species. Grass. Grass is, for example, this vegetation is being eaten by our rat, and then rat is being eaten by a snake is being eaten by an eagle. So this is producer. I'll write it down. Producer. This is primary consumer. This is secondary consumer, and this is tertiary consumer. So food chain is a linear network. You can see it's a linear network of links in a food web starting from producer. This is a producer. It starts from producer and end at an apex predator. So in this case, this is an apex predator. Or in this, we can take different example of food chain where apex predator is retrievers or decomposer species. A food web is the natural interconnection of food chains. So when many food chains, interconnect and they make food web. So interconnection of food chain is food web. And a graphical representation of what eats what is an ecological community. So food chain is linear and food web is many food chains combined. So this is food chain and food web. So better understanding for your explanation of food change, here is a video. So this bees sat on any fruit or any flower, and it sucks out the sap of it. As you can see, it's depositing pipe and drinking it. Then later that bee is being eaten by a frog. So that bee is a primary producer, frog is a consumer in this case. So in this case, a primary consumer is a frog or a chameleon. So you can see the green can be frog or the chameleon. So this was the primary consumer. Later that chameleon is being eaten by any bird, that is secondary consumer. That bird is being consumed by a cat, this is a tertiary consumer. So it's a food chain, linear network. And now this is the end of our food chain. So the primary producer to an apex predator. So this is a food chain, a linear network of one species eating the other species. Now, what is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is made of all the plants, animals, microorganisms in an area. For everything which falls under the sky is ecosystem. For example, animal, humans, plants, bacteria, virus, anything which falls under the sky is makes an ecosystem. So in this video you can see different varieties of birds, fishes, soil, plants, and other birds. So these all things make ecosystem. Now, what is migration? Migration means seasonal movements of animals from one region to another. For example, birds who cover long distances to reach another land are called migratory birds. They do this for breeding purposes or eating purposes. So migratory birds fly far away areas every year during a particular year because of climatic conditions. Some birds cannot survive hot climatic conditions, some can survive cold climatic conditions, so it varies on climatic conditions. So they travel from place to place to secure themselves and to make their habitat survivable. They fly for laying eggs or breeding purposes because their natural habitats become very cold, and then eggs cannot survive in such cold temperatures, so they migrate. Did you know it takes 17 full grown trees to make 1 ton of paper? So you can see how many trees are being cut for your paper. So please use your paper precisely and don't waste it. Don't even waste a slight amount of paper because we don't have trees and these are treasures for us. So how can we recycle paper? Paper can be recycled 5 or 7 times for use. If each person save at least one sheet of paper in a day, we can save many trees in a year. We should save, reuse used paper and recycle it. By this, we not only save trees, but we also save energy, water needed for its manufacturing, and we somehow save us. So please save paper, save trees. That's why we write save trees and save papers. Because in manufacturing of paper, there requires tons of water and harmful chemicals. So if you are saving a single page, you are protecting several trees. Now, what is reforestation? So we discussed deforestation. D means removal of trees. Re means planting trees. So reforestation is restocking of the destroyed forest by planting new trees. The planted trees should generally be of same species which were found in that forest. We should plant at least so many trees as we cut. We have already covered tremendous damage to our forest. If we have to retain our green wealth, planting of trees is the only option. So on your every birthday, please try to plant 1 or 2 trees because this is what will keep us alive and provide us oxygen to survive. How does reforestation occur? Even reforestation occur naturally. Reforestation can take place naturally also. If the deforested area is also left undisturbed, then nature is resilient. So nature can heal itself. So if you leave that particular area for many years, you'll see after returning that trees have grown there without the role of human beings. So you can see how beautiful our nature is. Now we'll be learning about Project Tiger. So as the name suggests, Project Tiger means it's about tiger. Project Tiger was launched by the government to protect tigers because they are our national animals. The objective of the project was to ensure survivals, then maintenance. Tiger is one of the many species which are slowly disappearing and they can soon become extinct. So it's necessary that we preserve tigers. But the Satpura Tiger Reserve is the unique in the sense that a significant increase is the so in the Satpura, which is the first reserve forest in India, I've seen many new births of tigers. So it's a very good example that population of tigers can be preserved if we build up certain legislations and policies. So Project Tiger is a act or a project launched by government India. Now, Forest Conservation Act 1980 is aimed at preservation and conservation of natural resource forest and meeting the basic needs of people living in or near the forest. So it is aimed at conserving the natural forest. This laws extend to the whole of India. It was enacted by the Parliament of India to control further deforestation of forest area. So this particular project or act, this is an act, it preserves and conserves the natural forest, which and even provide basic amenities to the people. This act was came into force in 1980. A very interesting fun fact, India has more than half of the world's wild tigers, 65% of the Asian elephants, 85% of the great one horned rhinoceros, 100% Asian lions. So India is a very diverse country. There are many animals. For example, 65% of the Asian elephant, 100% of the Asian lions, 85% of the great one horned rhinoceros. India is sixth on a list of 12 mega biodiversity country in the world. Sixth, its position is sixth. It contains two of the 34 biodiversity hotspot, Eastern Himalaya and the Western Ghat. They're areas very rich in biodiversity. So this was all about conservation, biodiversity, natural park, biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuary. So here we come with the end of this chapter, and there will be a quick video of the revision part. So please be more responsive, practice 3 hours and save your earth.